It's time for the Smash Those Small Pads collaboration, and this month I smashed 2 pads. Let's see what I made and actually finish off 2 of the projects together. Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome. It is time for the Smash the Small Pad collaboration. This is just a small collaboration I do with my friend Sarah, who's crafting and relaxing here on YouTube, and Kathy, who is Stampin' Cat over on Instagram. Each month we just pick a small pad and work at it until it's finished. This month I picked these 2 older Valentine's pads. They were in a bundle of small pads that I had thrifted last year. I'm not exactly sure where they were from. I'm wondering if it's Target based on the dot on the barcode back here, but I don't really know. Like, the description back here doesn't tell me anything, but it was only $1 pad. So, but there were 16 sheets, and they were all had the kind of fancy cut, border around it, and they were 5 by 7 in size. I didn't love all the patterns and colors necessarily, but I didn't have any other small Valentine pads, and I thought I could make use of them in some way. So I did several different things with them. I started out by making these 4 cards for the Kendra's Cards Challenge 13 and Trinity Stamps, the design team's collaboration. So I made one of each of the card, like I did 2 variations and using 2 different sketches from Kendra's Card Challenge 13 sketches. And I made 2 of each sketch just because I did one off camera and then I did one on camera. So I made these 4 cards, and I had used the Trinity Stamps, My One and Only stamp set, along with the die set, and then the Swirl Hearts die that I am really loving. And then I jumped to some other projects. I made some hot cocoa packets. These are just little note card size envelopes, the smaller, like 3.5 by 5 inch size envelopes that I have a bunch of. I'm trying to use up. And I just sealed them, cut one end off, and then covered the front and back with paper, decorated a little bit, tucked in a hot cocoa packet with a small Hershey bar. And these, we started putting out a bin of goodies around Christmas time. We do it every Christmas for the delivery drivers, and I decided that they come here often enough throughout the year between the business side and personal that I would leave it out. And so I've been I put in some winter hot cocoa packets and some winter treats along with our normal stuff a while back, like after Christmas, and so I thought I'd put in some Valentine's type treats as well. So I made 3 of the hot cocoa packets, and then I had a few Hershey's nuggets left from something, and so I decided that I would make up some small Hershey nugget packs as well. So normally I do 6. This time I just did 4, and I did them a little bit differently than I normally do. Normally I'd have to do like the long pretzel style bag. These are 3 by 8 size. They're not self-sealing, from clearbags.com. And I just cut it off and then rolled some of the excess down. And then I need to get some more nuggets, but I have my toppers cut. I just utilized one of the decorative edges. And then I've got 4 different of each pattern ready to fold over and staple on from my topper. And then I've taken a Happy Valentine's Day sentiment, already stamped it out, and backed it with some red scrap cardstock so I can just pop those on. And then I have my wrappers ready to go as well, and these are about 1.25 by 3 inches. And they fit perfectly on the little nuggets. So as soon as I get some more of the Hershey nugget bars, I will finish these off and put those out. So I have enough for 8 of those. And then I did, well, we'll skip. I will come back to that the next project that I did. The last thing I did was finish off the pads with some cards. I had some full sheets left as well as some scraps, and decided to just finish it off. I thought cards would be the easiest. When I had been going through my dies looking for my heart dies, I ran across a couple of cover plate dies that I got over the past year and haven't had a chance to really play with yet. So this is by Catherine Pooler, and it is the Angled Strips cover plate die, and then My Favorite Things Color Wave Cover Up. So they both are just cut the strips. They don't cut any frame or anything like that. So I started with those and used the full sheets that I had left and just cut each sheet. So this is what the Color Wave cover up die looks like. And I just took the sheets I had and kind of mixed in a couple different patterns. And since there was so much going on, I tried to keep it simple with just like layered hearts and a sentiment. And this one I did bring in the, where is it? My little heart flourish die from Trinity Stamps. Because I didn't have enough scraps left to do any more big hearts. And I had found this cute little otter already colored up in my stash. And so I thought, I think he's meant for winter or Christmas. But I was like, yeah, it would still work for Valentine's Day. And so I added him on. I could get a scrap. I found a scrap that I could get that polka dot, that pink polka dot circle out of. And then just used some scallop circle dies and then had that flourish going across to kind of, I don't know, give it a little something extra. So I did 4 of that one, and then this is the angled strip. And again, because there was a lot going on, I tried to minimize the number of things going on. I mean, I realize there's still a lot of things going on here, but I tried to add pops of white as much as I could. So this is the back side of one of the edges, and I liked the, you know, the detailed border on it. So I just turned it over and kind of trimmed off the ends, and then decided to ground it with the strip of the pattern paper, and then brought in some more white. This is a gnome I had left from the cards I did for the KCC 13 video a few days ago, and then a pre-stamped sentiment, and then I felt like it needed something more, so I added the hearts. This one I just kind of used some of the scraps I had, layered them up. And then again, this one I liked the detail, and so I just decided to bring it in kind of as a matte. This one was an extra wave piece that I had cut, was trying to use up. And then this one I just went for more white because there was a lot of dark red and dark pink on that one. So I did 4 of each of those. And then I had 1 full sheet left because, I don't know, I think I was just trying to use, I had 2 of this sheet when I went to use the cover die, so I just decided to save it. And then had this big piece of pink. This white is actually another scrap flipped over. It was a pattern I didn't love anyway. This other, and I had another one of these gnomes left, and then a sentiment that I had already had stamped on my desk. I had a bunch of hearts left because when I was die cutting the bigger hearts for things, I would use some of the smaller spaces just to fill in, and figured I could use them. So when it came down to the end, I had a bunch of these left, so I just decided to do a card of hearts. Have various sizes and patterns, and then again, this is something that was already pre-stamped and in my stash. I decided to use it. And on the inside of each card, I do have scraps, or on these last 2, when I was trying to finish off the hearts, I do have like little hearts. But there is something on the inside of each one. So I had 3 kind of continuous sizes of this pattern, and so I had them kind of laying there, and I decided that it kind of looked cool, almost like a stack of hearts or a little heart tree or something like that. So I just decided to kind of layer them so that they're overlapping a little bit, and that it looks like they were meant to go together. And I was out of any pattern paper at this point, and I thought it could use something, so I just found this pink in my stash that actually worked really well with the pinks in the pad, and so throw that on. So I think I had a total of 15 cards that I did. And then a different kind of project that I did was use these wooden scrap pieces that we have, and I've used them. I actually still have the Christmas ones on my desk. So at Christmas, we used them as presents. For fall, I did them as pumpkins. And for Valentine's Day, I made little Valentine envelopes. So again, I will finish some with you here on camera so you can see better what I've done. But they're really easy. But I've got this one started. But basically, it's just a little piece of wood, the little wood slat, and I painted the edges with white paint. You could use paint marker, you could use any type of white paint, doesn't really matter. I just like to have my edges colored so it's not this wood tone, so it just looks a little more finished. And I'm not going to give you measurements because if you have your own scrap wood, or even if you order the ones from us on our website, they may be slightly different. So I just measured the wood and then trimmed my paper to be slightly smaller. That gave me the front of my envelope, and then to get the flap of the envelope, I just kind of took basically the same width, and it didn't have to be as wide or as tall. And then the first one I did, I kind of just guessed about where I wanted the point to be and kind of trimmed it until I got it to the size I wanted, and then just use that as a template for all the other ones. I just traced and then with a pencil and then cut it to get the flaps of the other ones. But basically all I do is I have some Mod Podge, and you can get this at Dollar Tree. You can get small bottles, you can find it on Amazon. And then I just have a foam brush, and whenever you don't need a lot for these small projects, but I do the wood, I do the paper, the back side of the paper. This acts as the glue. And if you're using directional paper, you want to make sure you get everything going in the same direction. And then you just want to smooth it down. Just kind of like burnishing, get any of the bubbles out. And one of the things I did not like about this particular paper pad, the paper was very thin, so it was sometimes hard to work with on the cards as well. And I didn't realize until the very end when I was trying to see if there was a year on the back of the pad that it was like a dollar pad, so that kind of makes sense. So to do the flap, I'm just going to kind of guess where the flap would be going on the envelope, and then put some Mod Podge down on the block and then on the back side of my flap. And you have wiggle room with the Mod Podge until you like really burnish it down. So you just want to slide it into place, and again do some gentle burnishing. And once you get it nice and smooth, you use the Mod Podge to seal what you've done. And this just, the coats on the wood and the back of the paper act, you might have heard me say this before. The first coat that you put on the back of the paper and the wood surface is your glue, and then this is a sealant that kind of helps protect it. And then I guess I should say before, all I do is after I get all of my seal coats on and it's dried, I just had these felt hearts in my stash and I just hot glued them on. You could use a wooden heart, you could use a button, you could use even another patterned paper or a cardstock heart, whatever. I just thought like I would add a little bit of dimension on there, and just a fun way to finish them off. So the next thing I made, you've seen me make these too. I made these for my 12 months of Christmas. They, again, were pumpkins in the fall, Christmas gifts for Christmas, and now they are little Valentine's gifts as well. I thought that would be a cute little Valentine's decor piece, again, for tier trays. And that's what the little envelopes can be used for as well. I have one of these that I can also finish off. These are just like the blocks that we have. And again, painted the edges and measured all 6 sides and cut my paper to be just a little bit shy, and just kind of work my way around adding all of the pattern paper on. And again, with directional paper, you want to make sure that all of your sides are going in the same direction. I know that because I have messed that up. Get that to lay down. Oh. And then I do the top and the bottom as well. And again, I'm going to pay attention to the direction. So the paper on the bottom is facing that way. So I want my hearts to be facing that way on the top as well. And then once it's burnished down really well, I again seal this. I do the 4 sides, and then I will do the top and the bottom, but I'm going to set that over here. And then once it would be dry, I use hot glue and ribbon. I use 2 pieces of ribbon, and they just like connect the ends of both pieces at the top of the gift with hot glue, and then I just use a bow of some sort on the top. This one, I decided that I had used this heart ribbon. I was trying to use up some Valentine's ribbon on these too. And I had some, this bottom is a felt heart that I used on the envelopes, and then this is kind of like a puffy fabric heart. It's not quite, I guess it's a smoother felt, but I just layered those up and thought it added a little bit of dimension there too. And then we would have that guy. So just some fun tiered tray projects, and these are great for, like, I didn't love this red pattern, but it's broken up by the white and some of the other things going on in the same way, like this polka dot. When you put it on smaller projects and kind of layer it with some other paper, to me it's I enjoy it much more. So anyway, probably a long video at this point, but I got, out of the 2 sets, so 32 pieces of 5x7, I got 15 cards, 3 hot cocoa packs, 8 Hershey nugget sets, and then 6 little mini tiered tray decor blocks. So it was fun doing some Valentine's creating. Again, please be sure to check out Sarah and Kathy. They will be linked below. I will also link the Trinity products, the cover dies that I used in case you're interested, and then the blocks here on our website. We sold quite a few over Christmas for people who had wanted to make the Christmas packages or Christmas gift blocks. So if you decide you want to do some for Valentine's Day as well, they are still available. I thank you guys so much for your time and hope you all have a very crafty day.